Hey everyone, this is Wyatt James, and today we're going to talk about creating sympathetic characters. Now, this is a video for all young writers, ages 13 to 18. The writers in those categories can go to my Google Hangout that is happening right now, and last week it happens at 8 and it goes from 8 to 9. So today we are talking about creating sympathetic characters. One of the first questions I got asked when I became a writer was, how do you create sympathetic characters? Well, here's how you do it. So, you have a character, and he's all plain, and he's just flat. The thing about a sympathetic character is they're usually easier to connect with. And that's what you want to do for a story, is you want to connect your character. You want your characters to, you want you and the characters in the book to connect. So I'm going to teach you how you create characters that connect with other people. Now, here's how you do it. Alright, so the first thing of the night I'm going to say, this is the first thing you have to do to create a sympathetic character, is define a conflict. The second thing is to now let's talk about defining the first one, which is defining a conflict. Now, the conflict is like the major problem in the story, and what you need to do to make a sympathetic character is to give the character little conflicts, like minor conflicts, like they have a fight with their dad, or their best friend, or their mom, or whatever, and just give them that thing that sets them off, that will really just start a really good book. Now, in my book, I have my main character has a power malfunction, a warrior power malfunction, and he's Scythian, so he's constantly hunted, and so he's a sympathetic character because of the fact that he's hunted, and he has a problem. He has a conflict, which is the fact that he's a Scythian. So, alright. The second thing you gotta do is decide how old your character is going to be. Or the age of character. Okay? Now, to define the age of the character, you have to figure out what your character is most like. Is he most like a 12-year-old? Is he most like a teenager? Is he most like a 17-year-old like me? Or is he most like a 20-year-old? Or even maybe a 50-year-old? Or is your character evil altogether and is a 12-year-old? Talking about good or evil, the third thing you want to do when you're writing a sympathetic character is define whether you want them to be good or evil. Now let's talk about the age of the character. The age of the character should define their personality and what they act like on a daily basis. So, for example, a preteen demands and yells and all the normal things that a teenager would do. A 20-year-old does adult things, like have a job and go to work every day. There are certain things you want for a character to have the age of the character. Okay, now let's talk about good or evil. Now you have to decide whether your character is going to be good or evil. And once you find out whether your character is going to be good or evil, you do the fourth thing, which is name them. Try to come up with a really unique name. In my book, I have all my names are unique except for the main character's father. So try to come up with a unique name, like Pedro, or Parser, or Skyred, but you can't take Skyred because that's mine. I have it copyrighted. But I'm just giving you basic things here, like basic names that you could make names out of. Like for example, with Skyward, you can make the name Skyward or whatever. And that's when you have to figure out the fifth thing. Is whether you want your character to be a boy or a girl. And once you've figured out whether you want them to be a boy or a girl, and you've named them, and you've decided whether they're good or evil, you decided their age, and gave them a conflict, you've finally got a sympathetic character.